Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny. I'm here today to share with you my June reading plans. So my April and May reading was very much occupied by BookTube Prize reading. If you don't know about the BookTube Prize, I will link that down below in the description box so you can check it out. And so I really wanted some more relaxed, kind of free feelings for my June reading. And I've been reading a lot of nonfiction this year, and that's not necessarily changing with this TBR, but I did want to pepper in more fiction and get a bit more of that escapist feeling that fiction can give you sometimes. So I'm going to start off with my audio listen for June, and I picked Haven by Emma Donoghue for that. So this is not her most recent novel. This is her, second to latest release. I think it came out in 2022 or 2023. I'm not sure. This is set in 7th century Ireland. And we're following 3 monks as they set out from the kind of civilized world of a very corrupt, in the main monk art's opinion, monastery, and head out to form their own, monastery somewhere out in the middle of the Atlantic. And he gets this dream that compels him to do this. He believes it's a message from God. And so he chooses the 2 other monks that were seen in his dream, a young monk and an older man. And they set out together in a boat to go down the River Shannon and out into the Atlantic to find this island where they're going to have a kind of pure religious experience that is not tied into the kind of sinful ways that the other monks have been living according to art. And I'm a big Emma Donoghue fan. This is my 4th novel of hers, and all the previous 3 novels I've read of hers I've given 5 stars. So it makes me slightly reluctant at times to pick up another Emma Donoghue because I've had such an amazing experience with each of the books that of hers that I've read that I feel like inevitably there's going to be one that doesn't hit the 5-star mark for me. But here we are. What I like about the premise of this is it's very different from her other novels that I've read, which have female protagonists and focus more on a female relationship, usually, at least in 2 of them. And so this is a different perspective. And also, I don't usually go for religious novels, but I think that what I'm finding so far, because I have started listening to this, is that when you're talking about a version of Christianity that's very, very early, so kind of the 7th century is a really long time ago. So that version of Christianity is very different from more modern versions. So I like the simplicity of that time period. So I'm also thinking of the novel Hild, which I read late last year and really loved. There's something about that time period that is very compelling to me. There is a level of starkness to the life of that time that I find very interesting to read. So that will be my listen for June. And I think it's totally possible that I might add a new audiobook in there before the end of the month, because what I'm finding now that I am making art full time is that I have more listening time. So I'm still able to keep caught up on my podcasts and be listening to a novel while I'm working, and I can listen to more books. So I may end up doing that. We'll see as the month progresses. It is a busy month, so we'll see. I am carrying over 1 book from my May TBR, and that's Birds Art Life by Maclear. This is a memoir that weaves a journey that the author takes with a a birder, someone that follows birds, because she wants to learn more about birds. And she's also weaving in thoughts about the creative process and thoughts about her life and just living as a human on this earth. So that is all tied in this memoir. So I'll definitely be finishing this in June. Wasn't able to start it until basically the end of May. I'm reading 2 books for research purposes. So if you're new here, I'm an artist and I do a lot of reading that connects to the artwork that I'm making topically, and also to fill in some gaps in my own knowledge and history that I haven't learned or that I wasn't taught as I was growing up. And so both of these books are informing different pieces that I'm going to be working on over the next couple months. One of the pieces is almost done. And this is called Stories of Oka, Land, Film, and Literature by Isabelle St-Amand. And it was translated from the French by S.E. Stewart. And so this is a very specific book to a specific conflict that happened in 1990 in Montreal, in Quebec, based out of Oka and Kanesatake, which is a Mohawk settlement on the outer shores of the island of Montreal. And this happened when I was 12 years old. And so I have very specific memories of this, of the perceptions that I got based on the information that was going out there through the press, through my family, through my parents. And I watched a film called Beans a few years ago, which I'll put an image in here, which is an amazing film. And it was the perspective of this crisis through the eyes of a girl who was very similar age to the age I was at the time it was happening, but who lived in Kanesatake. And what I realized when watching that film was that my perceptions of this incident are completely biased and completely not properly informed as to what actually happened at that time and what Indigenous peoples were fighting for in that moment. And so what one of the pieces I'm working on is about the education I grew up with around Indigenous issues. And so this book is an attempt for me to find more information, to learn about more details about this specific incident, and to expand my knowledge of them as a white settler from that area. So it's very specific to my own personal history, but also the history of Canada and the history of the part of Canada that I lived in and that family members lived in. And so, yeah, I'm excited to get to this and to learn more and to expand, again, my knowledge around this topic. And so the other book that I'm also going to be reading based on research is Canoe Crossings, Understanding the Craft That Helped Shape British Columbia by Sandford, Osler. And this one has a foreword by Sheila Rogers, who is a fairly well-known journalist, Canadian journalist. And so this weaves the canoe into the history of British Columbia and like how it has formed this province and its influence on this province. And so the canoe as a symbol is a really important symbol to me in terms of Indigenous heritage and also the settlement of this land that we call Canada. And so I want to learn more about the canoe as I'm working on a piece that's going to feature a canoe in it. And so, yeah, excited to get to this one as well. And then the other 2 books I have to share are more on the lighter side of reading, not any informative history learning. So this is a poetry collection called The Tradition by Jericho Brown. Jericho Brown is an African-American poet. This cover is just stunningly beautiful. I love this painting so much. The cover art is by L. Ralphie Burgess, and it's You're in the Middle of the World. So I just think it's just beautiful. Poetry, poems about his experience, his life, and the wider impact of living in the United States as a Black man. And then I picked out a book from my shelf to add to my fiction reading. And this is Astrid and Veronica, a novel by Linda Olsson. And this features a young, I guess in her 20s probably, writer from New Zealand named Veronica, who moves to Sweden and is going there to finish her novel. And while she's living in Sweden, she befriends an older woman named Astrid. And so they become friends, and this novel is about their friendship. And one of the topics I really enjoy reading in fiction is female friendship. And so I'm very excited to explore this one and feel transported, hopefully, to Sweden and get wrapped up in a wonderful female friendship. So that is what I've got on my pile of possibilities, or my to be read for this month for sure. It is hopefully possible that I'm going to have time to bring in a few more books here. I don't know. Like I said, April and May have both been very busy months, and June is also going to be very busy for me. So my reading has fluctuated a lot throughout the last 2 months. And if I can fit in some more, I definitely will. And otherwise, this is what I will be talking to you about in my reading wrap-ups. I make reading wrap-ups at the end, or in, from the previous month and the following month. I always follow up on what I'm reading and let you know if I liked it or not. So that is everything I have for today, and I will be back again soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching.